Good afternoon. Hope everybody is safe, well, warm and dry. It's actually stopped raining here, so that's just marginally exciting. So I'm bringing a little bit of sunshine to your day today with a one sheet wonder, and I am picking, or I have picked, the ferny leafy thing from Positive Thoughts, whatever you might call it. A few of the Forever Fern leaves. I've got the leaves from Versailles and also the words because I love those on a one sheet wonder. So I have my shimmery white paper. Hold on, I might need to. Sorry, shadow across the sheet was going to annoy me. Yes, we've got enough light without it, so hopefully that's all good for you. Just catch up with myself on my tablet. Oh, what have I just done? Oh, somehow gone into a calculator. Bear with. So, hoping everybody is well. I did manage to make it out to post office and Waitrose today without getting wet, so that was quite handy. Oh, hi Ali, hi Linda, hi Jeanette. Caught up with you now. So yes, I've picked pumpkin pie, bumble, well basically every yellow that we've got, so every shade of yellow and / orange. Pumpkin pie, bumblebee, so saffron, mango melody, daffodil delight, crushed curry. I might throw a bit of cinnamon cider in there as well, just to throw a slight curveball. We'll see how we go. I've got some of the DSP in those colours as well, and just in case I fancy doing something with the gold, I've got a couple of those bits handy, and I have my trusty sheet, so I know how to cut up my one sheet wonder. So let's get going with sticking your finger in your ink pads. So I'm going to start with pumpkin pie, which I think is probably my darkest, and I'm going to do the very Versailles words. I just love these as a background. So as with any one sheet wonder, just kind of randomly placing those around. So hopefully you are all well. It's Thursday today, isn't it? I swear to God, I'm going to have to get a big calendar and stick it up somewhere so it actually tells me today, Marie, it's Thursday. And oh, and I've just had the panic when I came back from the shop. It's Father's Day on Sunday, isn't it? I mean, the 21st of June's been on my radar for heaven only knows how long, as Father's Day coming up, and then suddenly realised it's actually nearly upon us, which is slightly frightening. So that's a pumpkin pie. I'm going to go with my bigger leaf. This is the longer leaf also from the very Versailles. Well, I've earmarked Sunday, Linda, to try that it's not Joseph's coat, is it? Hi Jane. Anyway, I'm going to try that fantastic technique you popped in. If anybody wants to see the card, it's on my colour challenge for this this week. So the colour challenge is there with a suggestion of shades you can use, and Jane did a stunning card. Joseph's coat. Didn't sound right for a minute. Absolutely brilliant. So there will be a live. Sorry, I know what you meant. Yeah, so I definitely feel alive coming on to play with that, but it's definitely something I'll need to play with beforehand, because I can imagine me getting into a right inky mess. But it's stunning. So yeah, if anybody wants to have a look at that, I'm going to go with a bit of saffron with the flower. I've got the flower from Positive Thoughts as well. So I mean, you know, with any one sheet wonder, you can just pick a single stamp set, multiple stamp sets. You can, the world is your oyster. I even saw someone do one using the Swirly Frames set, which was stunning. So that may be attempted at some point as well. But I thought today, it's been a bit of a dull day. The sun is actually out here now. So hopefully some of you have got sunshine as well. But I thought I'd bring some sunshine in by using all the yellows. So one sheet wonders can be multicoloured, can be as bright or as subtle as you want, as regal as you want, whichever of the colour palettes you choose. But I quite like, I did a green one a little while ago, and I just thought today there's a challenge in the team, Stampin' Up team that I'm in, so I thought let's get going. And then I thought I fancy doing it in the yellows, so I quite like them when they're single coloured. Let's make sure a little bit goes off the edge as well. Oh, hello. Sorry about that notification. Normally have that switched off. Oh, and the other thing that is in the Fern is this little spotty. Oh, I might actually, I am going to throw a little bit of cinnamon cider in, just in these little dots. So I've been kind of playing with the new colours all week. So this just features cinnamon cider and the bumblebee. But I think that's quite a nice little contrast. And whether I do it as habit, I don't know. I think we might do some more of those in a little while. But I do tend, for reasons unknown, I tend to do one stamp, one colour. So I don't use the same stamp multiple times. Absolutely no reason for that whatsoever. It's one of those things I've just realised, that I kind of use the stamp, pop it to one side, pick my next stamp. Oh, that looks like it needs a bit of a... Oh, what colour is this? It needs a re-ink, I think. Crushed Curry needs a re-ink. Or actually, it might be time for a new ink pad. It's the old style of pad, so I started getting my Stampin' Up inks in this old style, gosh, maybe 5-6 years ago, so I probably should treat myself. So yeah, you can re-ink, but this is the old style of ink pad, so it doesn't actually fit into my new ink storage, so it would be the ideal time to invest. I think that might be it in the old Crushed Curry. So we'll just do some of the Daffodil Delight. I'm going to pick a bigger leaf again. This is another one from Forever Fern. So any stamp, any inks, half the battle is knowing when to stop. I think it's very easy to kind of just overdo, and I still love Karen's phrase from her class the other weekend of it looking a hot mess. Because I always have that point of like, oh no, it's not looking good. And then when we cut it up, it looks completely different. So I might just using this kind of second and third generation on that. Might just pop another bit up there. Another bit there. And personally, I do love to do one sheet wonders on the shimmery white paper, but that's just my preference. I'm just going to add a few more little spotty bits. Just think the shimmery white element just adds a little something, a bit of luxury to the... Right, we definitely are needing to stop. Stop right now, thank you very much. Now you know why I was never a singer as a job. Right. So just, there we go, stop, stop, stop. So one sheet, now I've got my one sheet wonder. You could simply just cut that up and make 4 cards and life would be good. Sorry, just having a little slurp of but I do like to get as many as I can out. Now again, this was very much inspired by Karen, so I have now got my little menu. And probably what would be useful, or not, if you think it would be useful, then please do let me know. If I actually properly do this so that it's actually a respectable something you could read and use, because I don't know whether people do their own way or whether they would like to have this. So essentially I do, in the first instance, cut it into 4. Then I take one of the pieces and I cut it diagonally. So I just find it handy just to keep a little my little recipe card. So just literally lining up corner to corner on the track of your trimmer, whichever trimmer you may have, so that we have 2 diagonals. Out of another piece, and I think I'll cut it that way. I cut one that is 3.5. I have just realised I haven't actually yeah, brilliant, I will do that, Linda. As I say, this is a bit messy, so that gives me another piece. Then I have another piece that essentially I cut in half, so at 7.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. I'm going to make 7 cards. It might just help as a guide to, I think these are 3.5, aren't they? I think it's quite useful to know how different people cut it up. And really essentially what I like to do is make the absolute most of the sheet that I've made. So that's my little cut into 3, and then I've got this piece. So this is an exact front for a card, so that's the exact same size as a card. So generally we'll see how we go. So you know what I haven't done? Cut up extra white. But oh, do you know what I might do as well with that extra piece? I might do a couple of cards on the note card size as well as the standard size. Hi Jane, hope you're well. So what I'm thinking is this little set of 3 might look quite sweet just across a note card. And then all it needs is a greeting. That's quite sweet. I love these little note card sized cards. So most of these are cut aimed at. Oh, I might do that piece on a note card as well. Or maybe I'll cut that other bit up. Let's see how we go. So I haven't got any white card bases made, so that's a bit of a hashtag fail. So I use Whisper White cardstock, and I use Whisper White thick. So oh, I scooshed my chair forward and my chair didn't move, and I did. That was nearly a big old crash. So I'm going to do 2 different. So 2 measurements for card bases. I keep it simple. 10.5 and 14.9. So if we are cutting at 10.5, we are scoring at 14.9. So we've got 2 bases like that. That away round, and this one I will cut at 14.9, so it's always the same measurements, 14.9 and 10.5, so we don't have to remember too much. Let's keep it simple, let's not complicate things. So then I'm scoring. So the only complicated thing you need to remember is when you use your score thing and when you're using your cutting thing, because if you inadvertently use your cutting thing when you should be scoring, you don't have a card base. you have a mat for a card, not an actual card base. So quick rundown. So that's very quickly. So I've done 2 cards in the kind of either that way or that way. Oh, actually, another thought. So let's go with the triangles. These are a perfect size for sitting across. Now the other thing that I've been using quite a lot recently, and I think would look rather nice with this, is the rainbow glimmer paper. Now because I have focused entirely on yellows, I'm going to need to cut a bit. Oh yeah, I almost want it more in that kind of ombre bit, so I'm going to cut it kind of. I love the way it goes through its ombre stages, and I think I prefer that. So I'm going to cut, I've cut my yellow bit off, and I'm going to cut a 1/2 centimetre strip. So I think the key thing is with this rainbow glimmer paper, you can individually use every single colour, or you can use, you know, the colours. If I, where was the cards I did when I did this previously, I was using Gorgeous Grape, Melon Mambo, Coastal Cabana, and that happened to be the way the rainbow kind of fell through the rainbow glimmer paper. So I think it's absolutely, so this, yeah, because I've cut it in the kind of ombre stage, as it changes from the kind of yellow to the pink, I get a more orangey shade, which I think, if I do say so myself, is rather gorgeous. Oh no, Jane tried to join and then the phone rang, bless her. No problem, look forward to you catching up later. But yeah, I think the rainbow glimmer paper, I was a bit like, ooh. But the more I use it and the more I cut it up, the more I just absolutely love it. So I'm using wet glue again because I need that little bit of wriggle room to make sure I've stuck it on correctly. So, and then on the edge, just running along the edge here, run along a little bit of glue, and then it's probably best to leave a little bit of overhang to make sure that you do get a neat cut. Just stick that down, turn your card over and cut from the back. But that, I think, is a beautiful combination. And then we've got space here to put the greeting and any embellishments or whatever we want. I think I will do this one. So this is the exact, or almost exact, not totally exact, but almost the exact measurement of the length of the card. And of course the little bit I cut off. But I think what I might do with this one is use a bit of the DSP behind in the bumblebee. Now again, if we're being frugal, there's no need to use half a sheet of bumblebee. We can just cut a little 1/2 centimetre strip that we can lay each side. And as I hadn't thought about any of my sentiments at all, I will probably do the sentiments later. So again, 1/2 inch strips. But it really is such a quick and easy way to make several cards. As I say, it was such a dull day. The sun's decided it does want to show its head, and I think the weather is most definitely improving. And trust me, when it's hot next week, I will not complain that it's too hot. I promise I won't. Although most definitely the garden needed this rain. It's the plus side of a rainy day saves me going out with the hose pipe, because you do tend to, if you're going to use a hose pipe, you've got to stand there for a while with the hose pipe to get everything wet enough. Because we've got so many new plants, we are kind of having to keep it on top of things. Plants can kind of cope once they're established, I think, with a little bit of heat. No, I'm not going to go spots, I'm going to go with that side. So again, it just by cutting that 1/2 centimetre strip, making sure that it's longer than the card itself. Now Marie's got gluey fingers. Then you can just cut that quite simply. But it's so effective. And I think a card like this would lend itself. I think probably I'll put a little banner across there, I would say. So again, turn to your back, to the back of your card, if I speak correctly, like what I was taught. Let's cut that off. There we go, card number 2. Gluey fingers. Oh, and then I was going to do the little 3 thing here. So the other thing that I do like to do is with the 3, bottom of one corner, round the corner off, and top of the other one. Again, you could do all 4 corners, you could do all bits, entirely up to you. And I think just straight onto the card. Nothing more, nothing less. We need to keep the DSP in the same order, so that what we're just doing is creating a slight gap. So top to bottom. So the first one, I find easiest to pop the first one in the middle, and then we can just line up those 2 outer ones correctly, which I don't think I've quite put that one in the middle. So luckily I wet glued it and I've got a little bit of wriggle room. That looks visually better. Again, you could edge it, you could put a bit of background paper to it, entirely up to you. But this is fantastic for these little note cards. So again, what's that? It's not quite 1/2 centimetre, is it? A couple of millimetres gap. So it's obvious that the pattern is a continuation, but we're just adding a little bit of separation. So again, just wet glue purely to allow myself a little bit of wriggle room. But I just like those corners cut slightly, just because I can, basically. So yeah, simple but gorgeous. Then partly what I'm thinking with this one that I might do is I might use 2 bits in one. So how wide is that bit of paper? So that bit of paper is 3.5. So I'm going to cut 3 centimetres off the edge of the card. Obviously that extra 3 centimetres goes into my little scraps, because, oh actually that'll be, actually, I'll retrieve my scrap. That'll be great for one of the greetings for the card. And I am going to float that off the edge slightly. Oh, do you know what I need? I'm going to put a vertical greeting now. It's not current. Although what says I can't put a greeting on its side? We actually haven't got any vertical greetings currently, have we? I don't think we have. But I'm going to leave a gap that side for a vertical greeting. And this is going to come out to the centre. And then I'm going to pop that like that. Or you could just do that with a plain piece. You know what we could do? We could change our mind completely and have, how about, oh, I just need to trim a little bit more off that, I think, to do that. Or Oh, I think that might be oh yes. How about that? I'm going to do that. I am going to do that. So, oh yes, ribbon. Oh, I wonder whether I could get away with a bit of cinnamon cider as I put a few dots in. Right, okay, let's get the leaf pattern in first. So I kind of need to just glue these. That's why I keep these things handy, because sometimes you just think, might just work with something. But I think these gold laser cut bits, these leaves, reflect some of the leaves that I've used in the One Sheet Wonder. So just a few blobs of glue around the place, not going to be too exact. Now, oh, put way too much on that one, I think. Let's not have a splodgy mess. The only thing I might be at risk of doing is sticking this to my backing paper. So let's see how we go. May have So I'm going to glue it so that I have the straight edge inside the card, but I don't want a straight edge top and bottom, so I am just going to glue it like that. And with any luck I won't. Right, I've got a little bit of excess glue, so I'm going to be a little bit careful until that has dried. I might just dab it off. Hi Babsy, hope you're well. It's caught me mid-inspiration of using the gold, which I don't now think is quite straight, but that's fine. I think I've lost my little bit of wriggle room that I had. Oh no, we've still got wriggle room. Just going to straighten that up a little bit. That's better. See? Wet glue and wriggle room. Can't do without it. So then that is going to go across there, and then we're going to try, Linda suggested a bit of ribbon. Now I don't have any, I've ordered the other colours, so I've only got cinnamon cider, but I'm thinking that might work. Because I use the cinnamon cider, oh yeah, awesome idea, Linda. So I've just, if I've got enough hands, which currently I don't appear to have, so I've essentially cut a straight bit of ribbon and then tied a little knot around it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Linda. Excellent inspiration. Well, yeah, I do have that as well. But which of the yellows am I going to pick? I could, let's just make sure we don't get into a horrible gluey mess here either. Yep, glued that just about right. So we could because that one could go on to any. How about doing it in So Saffron? That might be quite nice. Well, exactly. I've used 7 different shades of, well, 6 different shades of yellow and a cinnamon cider. So I'm thinking I might go So Saffron. Should we try a bit of So Saffron? Although we do know that we need to leave that to dry for a bit. What I am going to do, actually I'll do that after I've, right, So Saffron ink pad, sponge, and our beautiful ribbon. I'm going to do a longer bit because I would like to do that cut. So this is the white bias type ribbon. So we literally just run the ribbon between our sponge and the ink pad. We'll need to move it a few times. As we run across. Yeah, it's funny how we go through phases, isn't it? Because I hadn't used it an awful lot. It's kind of just been sat there a bit neglected. And then I started using it a bit more. And now I love it. So there we go. But what we do need to do, because I learned the lesson the other day, I suddenly was like, why have I got blue fingerprints everywhere? And it was because I had dyed the ribbon and not left it to dry. So we'll see how we go with that. So essentially, white ribbon dyed any colour you like through an ink pad. So I'm going to the back of the card now. I'm going to cut that gold off. So I then still have that section to use for something else. Cut top and bottom. Like, just take that front card away. There we go, top and bottom. I think we can safely throw those little bits away, can't we? I'm not sure I'll find a use for those. Or by the time I found a use for them, I would have well and truly lost them anyway, so we will throw that away. So we have that lovely gold leaf kind of design hanging out, and I've used that line there so that when you fill the card in there, it's all very beautiful. And then I'm not going to do that ribbon yet because I think it'll still be wet, but oh yes, beautiful. Love it. I'm going to just hang that up to dry. If anybody came into my craft room, they'd be like, what is that woman doing? Well, they probably do that anyway. Who am I trying to fool? Well, you know what I could do? We could create another little note card with a gap at the top for a sentiment, and that little bit of could use that as the edging. That's quite cute as well, isn't it? Yeah, lucky, lucky, lucky. I'm going to tape that because it's not quite so important. So using the last of my snail. So I'm going to put this about there. And then, yeah, snail is definitely going to be my... no, it isn't. No, it is. I'm going to snail my ribbon, not the card. So I run it along. I now do have to remember that I have snail on my... When I get my new product, I'll have to remember to change its name. So by kind of using the tape over the paper, when you lift it, the excess gets cut left behind, if I could speak correct English. Actually, I might want to move that. Oh, can't really now, I don't think. Can't move that along so much now, but anyway, that's fine. I was going to move it slightly more to one side, but that's fine. So that's just a little knot tied simply, and then I'm just going to cut those ends slightly shorter. Now that card can now go either way, although if I want a sentiment it's going to need to go that way, isn't it? Oh, I didn't cut that very straight, did I? Gosh, I think I've done that on a slight... I think I was slightly inebriated when I did that. Oh yeah, good idea. Good use of a silicone mat. And again, going to the back of the card, I can cut through the ribbon and I can cut through the excess paper. Having lifted that up now, that is not straight at all. But as I always say, I'll make sure I don't send it to my mathematician father that would probably then go, that's not straight. Because his eye is a bit too accurate. But for most people that is, I mean, it's probably a few millimetres out, but once it's on the mantelpiece with a greeting, people just love to get homemade cards, so I'm not going to get overly upset about that being slightly on them. Oh, I love that. Love, love, love. So we have got that one. We've got this lovely one there, which we're just waiting for that ribbon to dry. Simple one there with the 3 across. We've used the one of the 6x6 DSPs there just to highlight either side, literally just cutting a 1/2 centimetre strip. And then we've got a piece of the rainbow glimmer paper, and I've picked the more ombre side of it rather than the bright yellow. That bright yellow just to me doesn't quite, that ombre is rather a bit of the wonk. Yes, exactly. If it was too perfect. So how long have I been rabbiting on for now? Oh my lord, I've taken up a lot of your time. So normally I try and make them kind of half an hour. I've been rabbiting away. So yeah, essentially I've still got 2 pieces left, but so that one is exactly the same size as a card. And actually I might just put a simple greeting across there, and that might become my Father's Day card, as I've suddenly remembered it's Father's Day on Sunday. So yeah, so from one piece of paper, what I will do, I will do a neat version of my kind of little map, or whatever you want to call it. I'll do a neat version of that, and I will pop it on my Facebook page for you so that you can use it as a reference. As I say, that is a really quick, easy way, and I have quickly made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 once I've glued that together, and then I can make a 7th. So it's a really great way to make beautiful cards really quickly. So hopefully you found that fun. Thank you very much for all your engagement, and thank you, Linda, for the compliment there. And I look forward to crafting again with you soon. I'm not around tomorrow because we've got a skip being delivered. I might drop in on Sunday because I'm going to play with the Joseph's coat. Let's call it the right name, Linda. So Linda's inspired me to try, yes, Joseph's coat. So I'm going to play with that on Sunday. I will reveal how inky I get. Yeah, so I'll play with that, and I might go live on Sunday. So, but if I don't see you then, I will hopefully see you next week. Have a fantastic weekend and take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye.